Hi, guys. My name is Anu Sharma, and I'd like to introduce myself. I have a master's in science, master's in education, and MBA. I'm originally from India. Some 25 years ago, I came to US with a master's in science in organic chemistry from a Merit University in India. I wanted to learn about the US education system, so I went to Texas Christian University. There, I enrolled myself in the MED program, and I was the recipient of graduate research assistantship under Dr. Sharon Reynolds. I conducted a research on the project that was funded by National Science Foundation on figuring out how do people learn. So I did a lot of research on different modalities in which the students they learned. We conducted research of students working or studying in museums, on playgrounds, in classrooms, in very experiential modalities, and so forth. Traditional backgrounds also. So during this time, I developed my own philosophy also, and that was based on the constructivist approach to learning. And I'm going to talk more about it during the course orientation. But now moving forward, I enrolled myself in the PhD program in Clemson University, Clemson, where I actually got a chance to work with Dr. Melanie Cooper, who was also working in the same field, looking at the constructivist approach of teaching students in higher education. So there I taught the labs, chemistry labs, to the graduates and undergraduate students. And I was also in the organic chemistry program. And I worked under Dr. Graham B. Jones, and we learned drug designing. And I had to drop out of the PhD program because I had a personal situation going on in my life. And so, I had to move out due to a divorce. And came to Clemson, I left Clemson and I came to California with my master's in science. And I got a job in Novartis. Originally it was Chiron Corporation, but it got acquired by Novartis. So, for a while I worked for Novartis also. So anyways, during this time, I was working as a medicinal chemist, and I was working in drug designing and discovery. So I worked on cancer research, designed new molecules, and also contributed to patents. So for now, I have 3 patents, but obviously those are in the name of the company. But I learned, how to make new molecules, organic chemistry, that's where it leads to in multi-step organic synthesis. Anyways, after that, that's the thing, something about me, that after a while, I was like, okay, I enjoy this. This is my passion. I like making new molecules. I like sending them for, analysis and testing. And it's a great feeling to see your molecule advance all the way to the clinical trials and ultimately become a drug, or at least you contribute to, drug discovery. So that's a very satisfying, experience. But I could not see myself retiring in a lab. So I wanted to know more and I wanted to learn more about my life. I had more expectations of my life. So what I did was I did MBA. My company sponsored me for this. They paid for all of it and I just had to study. That's all. So I applied myself while doing full time as a working as a full time as a medical chemist. I also went to school full time and got MBA. It so happened that there was some downsizing after once I finished my MBA. There was some downsizing and the company shut down its operations, laid off, and all that stuff. And now we are on the roads back. What do I want to do next? I have an MBA degree, but I don't have the relevant qualification. I mean, I have the qualification. Sorry, I don't have the relevant experience. So nobody was hiring me. And I didn't want to go back into the lab because it would have been the same life, which is fine, but it's like like I said, I wanted to do more of my life. So what I did was, while in that transition state, I enrolled myself as an instructor at Berkeley City College, as in teaching, just so I am doing something. So, and then I became, a part-time instructor, and I continued to look for that side of positions which could tap into my, experience of working in the lab, but on the business side of it. Okay, so I got a call from Hungary This is, a company called um, Chemaxon. It's headquartered in Budapest, and they were looking for some people who had experience of working in the lab, and they could take care of the software side, selling, marketing to the scientists who could talk to the scientists. And I was a perfect candidate for that. So they hired me. I worked for these international companies for a few years. I worked for Chemaxon in Budapest, Hungary. I traveled a lot. I traveled to a lot of conferences. Later I worked for a company in Stockholm, Sweden. They were also working on the same kind of software, which were using, drug designing as their base, to help the scientists. So instead of making all the molecules in the lab, you can actually simulate those molecules on the computer. So this is something, which I worked for that for like 8-9 years. And, I have a son and like I'm a single mom, and he had his own needs, and he wanted I needed him to be, in a, just like everybody else finishes college. I also wanted my son to finish college. So I dropped out of all that business side program, became a full-time professor so that I could assist him, because he's a special needs, my child. So I do understand the needs of a special needs student, So you don't even have to talk to me about it. I know it, I see it. I'm a life coach now. So I'll be very honest with you. Everybody learns differently, and I totally understand that. But excuse me, 2 years ago, my son dropped out of college, and that's perfectly fine. And I also encouraged it, because it's fine. It's sometimes college doesn't work because colleges have very traditional modality of teaching, especially in science. It's very traditional. And if your learning style does not match with that teaching style, then you can be successful. So anyways, now I'm on the side. I have my own, like an organization in which I'm, helping the college dropouts, especially the people with special needs who could not finish their education. And so we are looking at ways, to help them. So that's something on the side we're doing, because the learning in that modality is non-traditional, completely non-traditional, because the traditional doesn't work for, a certain class, a niche of students. So that's what it is. So that's something on the side. But anyways, so this is a very brief, introduction about myself. And as I told you that I have an extensive experience of working in the labs. I have extensive experience of traveling to conferences and looking at a lot of different industries, food industry, agricultural, chemical, personal care, pharmaceutical, biotechnology, and then chemical. So many different industries. So I have traveled vastly for like 8-9 years. I've been doing that. And so I do understand different, applications of chemistry in a many different fields, and how, different types of career paths open up, so you may be thinking of going this way. But during the semester, I do, career management workshop, in which I also show all these different avenues which you can tap into. With chemistry, it's a central science. It can take you so many different places. You just have to, broaden your perspective and look at it from there. Anyways, so this was a very brief introduction. And now I'm going to stop, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction of the course in my next video. And with that, I would like to welcome you to my class. And I appreciate that you enrolled in my class. I'm welcoming you. And I look forward being a part of your academic journey. Thank you, and take care. Bye-bye.